Hey guys, welcome back to Crypto Mischief. Richie here, where I talk about my favorite thing in the entire world. Goddamn cryptocurrency. That's right, what's my hair doing? Nice. Floppy. Today we're talking about the Sui ecosystem once again. I love Sui. Sui looks like it's taking off. Bitcoin is about to hit $100,000 once again. Ethereum still around $2,000, but Sui looks really strong. Today we're going to be covering one of the most promising projects I know of on Sui. We've talked about Walrus in great detail on this channel. We've gone into other of the hot tipped big boys, which are going to be really taking off once Sui does retake all time high, and we're really off to the races with everything. He's already doing extremely well. The calls have been having recently with Sui have been outpacing almost every other coin apart from Book of Binance, which has done extremely well. Well done there, Book holders. Let's go, Book. And now let's get into updates on the project I've been covering since launch. It's called Swarm. There must be a lot of viewers on my channel who also are into Swarm or have heard about it because of the sheer volume that they're doing. It's a growing volume as well, which is really interesting because they still haven't reached their token generation event. Now, I put TGE, token generation event, in the description of this video because it is on the website that it is coming soon. There are no announcements yet from anyone at Swarm about the actual date, but we're going to look into that. So let's just find out more information about what's been going on with Swarm since last time I covered them, because it's been a couple of weeks. So Swarm have now sold 7,196 licenses, each priced at 999 USDC. So that is over $7 million now sold in their early license sold stats. Now, if we come down here, anyone can buy these licenses. I have 4 of these licenses myself, and they're earning me the Swarm token. Now, upon the token generation event, I'll be able to get my hands on the Swarm token, and therefore I will be able to trade the Swarm token. But at the same time, I'm also buying these licenses because I don't just want the tokens. Of course, we all want an ROI on our investment with Swarm. I also want to be able to use my licenses for what they're designed to do, which is to create no code Swarm clusters of AI that you can use for your daily tasks. You can put them beyond that and use for changing the world for a better place. You can also lease them out or even trade them on a marketplace come up as well. So this is a huge scope project. They, of course, have had $7 million invested through their license sale. They've already had also backers, which are giant, right? So the backers behind Swarm are larger than you can probably expect. Let me find them down here. I remember there is Google Cloud, there is Fireworks. They got a pretty big award. Yeah, they're here. Zero Stage, Fireworks AI, Fall, Google Cloud are all backers of Swarm, right? They've integrated all of the AIs that we use in our everyday life into their Swarm technology, right? Gemini, OpenAI, NVIDIA, Grok, DeepSeek, Meta, right? Mistral AI. They are all getting integrated into Swarm, right? And this really makes me so bullish on this project because they just continue to pick up bells and whistles. Bells and whistles are what we want behind the project because that's what continues to gather further adoption after the initial launch, because we need the project to continue to grow. We need to onboard new holders, new scientists, I'd like to call them, who are going to be using this technology and creating their own swarms, which could really make a project like this go viral, right? They do have use cases of their technology already running on X with a roll-up truth bot, which can actually check anything that's going on inside of X, and you can verify whether it's true, whether it's biased, and get to the deep knowledge of what's going on. That's the roll-up bot, and by using that, you can also get an airdrop of Swarm tokens. By the way, we covered that in the last video. Their seed round as well got 3 million, right? So that's over $10 million now raised into Swarm. Big stuff, big boy stuff, right? It's all about following the truth. Numbers don't lie, right? So up and coming, big project. A couple weeks ago, they also were chosen by the Sui Foundation, I believe, as one of the top 6, right, startup projects on Sui, right? And this was from a list of hundreds of projects which applied for this to be taken seriously by SUI, right? SUI Foundation, and they were one of the 6 projects chosen as the most promising, the most biggest chance to go viral, to take over the matrix, to realize the potential that SUI has because of their edge in AI, because of their seeking of truth, and for the sheer numbers and partnerships that they're starting to gather, right? So licenses sold 7,196. Now, these are 999 USDC. You buy them with USDC on Sui Chain. If you want one, there's a link in the description, and you can use the code Richie to get your license if you want to. If you do, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm going to continue bringing news and updates about Swarm until the TGE, and then afterwards as well, as I begin to use my Swarms with my life, and hopefully other people will find use case from them, right? So by owning a Swarm, you build your swarm of autonomous agents with no-code tools, or you can lease them to AI agent devs on the marketplace. You can recruit the best agents on the market, grow your reputation, and earn a share of network verification revenue in Swarm token. And you can earn Swarm's native token daily, as we've been doing because we own these licenses, and engage in network activities to unlock additional bonus distributions. The engaging in network activities is, for example, using the Rollup bot, which I talked about last time I made a video. So beyond that, then we do also have the very interesting parts here, right? So the amount of tokens that we get from Swarm depend on how many licenses are sold. So in this sense, the earlier you get into Swarm, the more Swarm token you're going to be able to acquire before the token generation event. On that end as well, the more licenses you own means you get more Swarm tokens. So if you have 2 licenses, you get a 0.1x daily on that. If you have 5, you get 0.3x daily, going all the way up to owning 100 licenses, which would be a massive investment, right? But you would get 10x daily in Swarm tokens upon being generated daily, and then upon the token generation event, you would get your hands on those tokens, right? This is why people are buying multiple licenses to try and gather as much Swarm token for this hotly tipped coin, right? Things on Sui are going mental, by the way, absolutely mental, right? So we come into Bubble, right? This is what I would call a tracker for small cap and medium cap, growing cap alts, right, on the Sui network. And you are seeing pumps that you would not believe. That these pumps are more fun than Solana. They are more fun than Binance Smart Chain. They're completely dwarfing what's happening on Sonic right now, right? And all of these coins that we're looking at here, I would basically stack all of these, most of them, into the meme category, right? They don't have powerhouse utility behind them. They have what is called the new shiny object behind them, right? Or some of them do have growing utility, right? Which is great because that's what we cover every single week on Sui Builders. Sui Builders is an X Spaces. It happens every Friday morning for me, Thursday evening for Pacific time, right? And on that channel, we get a lot of these developers and coin creators into the X Spaces and we talk about what we're building essentially, right? And that's cool. Now, what Swarm has above and beyond a lot of these projects, even though it's not a competition, right? It's not a competition guy. Everyone's making their own projects, but you have to see as an investor, and that's what we do on this project, on this channel, right? We find value, we get in early, and then we make bank, right? That none of these coins, which are going up and down, some of them pumping parabolically, right? None of them have what Swarm has. None of them have the bells and whistles that Swarm has. None of them have the backers that Swarm has, and none of them have the technology and vision that Swarm has. So that's really the big sell point for me for what's going on. Now, coming to the agent launch, right? We have the roadmap here. This is why I put the TGE. It is coming. Like we are now May 8th, right? We're into Q2, quarter 2. Quarter 1, 2025, license launch. Rollup News V2 was launched out. Agent staking not yet out. Questing platform is now created, I believe, right? Because you can now quest with Rollup to begin getting points. Yes, you can. I've seen it. To then get points, to then get an airdrop, also a Swarm. Bringing us into Q2, which is now. Now, the first one at the top, Q2, is the TGE, the token generation event. That will be when we will get our hands on the Swarm token, which we've been earning, or if you don't have a license, you can buy the token on the open market. And we might see, parabolic green days like we're seeing across these alts all over the place on Sui. But the market cap will be substantial because of the amount of early investment that this project has had, right? This is going to be massive. On Sui, we have three huge projects. We have Sui Coin, we have Deep, and then we have Walrus, right? Under that, you have things like Cetus, right? You have Lofi, the biggest meme coin, right? I think Swarm has absolutely no problem getting into the heady heights of those kind of market caps. That is why it's one of my top picks for what's going to be happening in Sui in the next couple months. So to get the licenses, pretty simple. You come to buy a license. It will bring you to the license page. And I'm going to show you, what you can do with the Swarm license, even in this early part, right? So I'm going to share some of this with you. So what you're going to do is you're going to come to this. You're going to connect your wallet. The link of this is in the description. It will bring me to my licenses. Okay, so I have 4 licenses active. They activate as soon as you buy them. You can see once you also get a license, you can also start referring other people to buy licenses. So far, I have referred 96 people to get licenses. And from that, I'm earning cash back on the license sales. Now, this is a little bit Ponzi-nomics, but this is how these kind of raises are done. Historically, I've seen them for the past 4 or 5 years. So there's nothing out of the ordinary here. It's just the best way to basically garner people to continue to push and promote the project so that they can get enough funding to achieve the project's dream. It's crypto, right? This is how it works. Welcome to crypto, right? But you can see from the total rewards there, I've earned 470,000 tokens. 144,000 of those have come from the agent licenses generating tokens, and 322,000 of those have come from my work as an affiliate, right? So if you do have an agent license and you're not telling every single person you know about this, because you spent the money on it, right? You spent $1,000 or more on these licenses, then why would you not take advantage of the very generous affiliate deal that they have running currently for it, right? These don't last forever. Remember when we were doing Lumia, right? It was a slow start. We were selling lots of the nodes with Lumia, and then suddenly, boom, they just started sweeping off, right? The prices also of these will begin to go up, right? And that's very important too. If we move here, up until 12,000 licenses sold, you're going to be able to get your license for $999. At which point, so we're already 7,000, we're more than 50% of the way there now, right? Once we get to 12,000 and up, the price of each license is going to start going from $1,099 all the way up to the max cap of licenses, right? Which is going to be $5,589 per license. So if this is something that you're interested in and you've been putting it off, then I would think that, it's better to do sooner than later. As always, there's risk inside of crypto. So you need to do your own advice. There are multiple places where you can find out about Swarm. I'm in the docs right now. Look how thick these docs are. This is insane, right? The one thing you might want to know, of course, is how to buy. You need to get Sui, a Sui wallet like Slush wallet, right? Or Nightly wallet. You need to get Sui token, then change that Sui token into USDC. Therefore, you can buy the license. It's pretty much that simple. You can send Sui from Binance or Coinbase to your Slush wallet, trade it on Cetus. You can even trade it inside of Slush wallet as well if you want. Now, another very important part of this is the token generation event, which we're going to have a look and see if anything has been updated here, right? We have here early claim. Right. So this is the details of what's going to be happening once the TGE happens, I believe. To encourage longer term holding, tokens can be claimed at any time but are fully unlocked after 93 days. Early claims burn a percentage of token, decreasing circulating supply and benefiting those who hold. So if you wait 31 days or less, you're going to get 50% of your tokens, 50% going to be burned. If you wait 93 days or less, you're going to get 70%, 30% are burned. And after 3 months, 93 days, you will get 100% of your tokens claimable. So there will be a wait period after the TGE for your tokens if you do want to get 100% of them. Now, from my experience, what I will be doing with this is I will be claiming about 25% of them, even with the burn, because generally the price performance in the early stages of a node launch is very bullish. After the 93 days, the price usually takes a bit of a hit. If the project is successful after that, then it can dwarf the launch price. So that's why I'm hedging more of my bet on waiting and being patient, being a community member, but also making sure I do get some of my profit off the table in the initial stages, of course, because you don't want to be that guy just watching the chart go down and you're locked. It keeps going down and you're locked. But at the same time, while all this is happening, 90 days to wait is well more than enough time for Swarm to start rolling out their tools. And with their tools working, with the use case to your license, the benefit of having a license for $1,000, but then you can run all of these AI technology on it, and you can even monetize your AI technology through Swarm. Really, the token and the earning we're going to get from the token is a great bonus to an already sweet deal, because I can list on all 10 fingers, 10 toes, probably my cat's paws, how many times I've spent $1,000 on something and I got nothing back later on. So with this, you're guaranteed getting two things: tokens and usable AI licenses at the same time, and part of a really badass community. So if you want to find out more about what's going on with Swarm, I encourage you to come to their X Space X account, where they do go through everything. You can find out about the airdrop for Swarm right here. They are doing the Truth Seeker Season 1 using their Rollup News. This is proof of work of their technology, AI technology. The Rollup News was the first automated bot made by Swarm, and this one goes through X, like I mentioned before, and finds the complete truth for you, right? This is growing very fast. They did have to limit it because people were using it more than 50 times a day to try and build up their points. This is the leaderboard aforementioned, where you can see how many points you have for using Swarm and getting up there in the list, right? Then we do have more and more partnerships that they're making, right? So let's go. The Google Rollup News is an official fact check provider for Google now. So they're linking up with Google Cloud, just like they said they were going to do. Funny that, right? They have complete maintenance. They went to the Sui Basecamp, where you can see there their CTO and Chief Blockchain Engineer vibing with Walrus Protocol, because of course, Walrus will be integrated with Swarm. Of course it will, right? It's AI on Sui. They need Walrus, and Walrus needs them, right? So doxed people, by the way, entire team doxed. Then we have Costa Crypto, co-founder of Miston Labs and Sui Network, thinks this about Swarm. This is huge, right? So Costa Kofa, co-founder of Miston Labs and Sui Network, says, we need some strong teams in the AI spectrum. Swarm's whole presentation is appealing. They're in this space of successful startups. So when Sui are noticing you, you know that's what's going on, right? 7,000 licenses sold. Boom, and they keep going, right? They've now integrated yesterday with Pund.e AI, another AI tool, which they can then add into their swarms, right? They did a live space yesterday, which you can check out here. And of course, as I mentioned just earlier in this video, we do have a live space with Yannick Meisen, the CEO of Swarm, and he will be live on Sui Accelerator at 6 p.m. Eastern on Thursday. For me, Beijing time, that is 9 a.m. I will be there. I mean, I'm in the picture. They better be there, right? And we will be talking freely with Yannick about the technology behind Swarm. We'll be talking about AI on Sui. We'll be talking about all things Sui, as we do every single week. So I do urge you to come there. It will be live on this very YouTube channel. We'll also be live on X in the Sui Accelerator pages. I found so much alpha in the last 4 weeks of Sui Accelerator spaces. Every single week, there is something to make profit on that is launched. Some guy comes in and says he's just about to start something. Some guy just says he's about to release new utility. It's a great place to find out alpha. Okay, and that is pretty much my catch up with Swarm. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, get into the comments or join my free Crypto Mischief chat if you want to know more about Swarm and what's going on. Join the X Spaces or join the live chat. If you do type anything in the live chat, then I'll make sure to ask it in person to anyone who's talking during the spaces. It's free chat. It's nice atmosphere. Nothing too super official. We're just going to roll with it and see where it goes. Okay, peace, Crypto Mischief. Be good to each other. And as always, don't get wrecked. We will be live with the CEO of Swarm Network at 6 p.m. Eastern Pacific time. I'm talking slow, don't know why. 6 p.m. Eastern Pacific time, right? Which is 9 a.m. Beijing time or Perth, Australia time. G'day. And we'll be live in X talking with Yannick Meisen about Swarm. It's free chat. We are, I've prepared some questions and some talking points, but nothing much, because I just want to kind of get a touch base with Yannick, see how it's growing. We do this on Sui Accelerator, which is Next Spaces. I also stream it live on YouTube, so you'll see that as well, as I'll be bringing out this video beforehand to get you ready to tell you about it, right? And now I'm going to tell you all the updates about Swarm Networks. So you can get up to speed. Then you can join the live spaces, and you can ask any questions you do have. If you want to do your research, I urge you to do your research. Very important, crypto. Do your own research, of course, right?